We've all been there. You're cruising along the highway when suddenly you hear it. That sharp, sickening thwack.
Yeah.
You look up, and there it is. A tiny starburst chip, or maybe a growing spiderweb crack spreading right across your field of vision.
It's an instant jolt of anxiety, isn't it? And, years ago, that sound meant maybe, $300 for a new piece of glass? Pretty straightforward.
Right.
Today, though, that tiny rock strike triggers a much scarier financial question, especially for these newer cars, the ones packed with driver assistance tech.
Mm-hmm.
Will my insurance cover this, or am I looking at like $1,000 repair because of something Condeus recalibration?
Exactly. The rules of engagement with your auto policy when glass is involved feel, murky. And they've changed dramatically in the last 5 years or so.
They really have.
It's no longer just about replacing the glass. It feels like it's about replacing a critical safety component of a really complex vehicle.
Yeah. That's our mission today, really. We are going to quickly clarify the core finding here. Yes, most drivers are covered, but the specifics, they hinge entirely on the type of policy you carry.
Okay.
And whether you understand the financial and, crucially, the safety implications of getting it repaired promptly, especially in the age of these advanced vehicle systems.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Diving straight into the policies seems like the right place to start. Before we even get to the deductible debate, we need to know what policies actually, acknowledge that little rock hit.
Right.
Let's start with the fundamental distinctions between coverage types.
Okay, so the primary player, and the one you absolutely need if you want protection against road debris, is comprehensive coverage.
Comprehensive, got it.
Yeah, this is kind of the workhorse policy that pays for damage to your car that doesn't involve hitting another vehicle.
Right. Comprehensive usually deals with the acts of God and things outside of your direct control, like fire, maybe flood, hitting a deer,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Precisely, yeah. It covers non-collision damage caused by those specific events. Road debris, hail, vandalism, theft. And crucially, if a rock is kicked up from the road and hits your windshield while you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Comprehensive is the policy that steps in to cover the repair. If you only have collision insurance, that's not going to help you here at all.
That distinction is so important. But let's talk about being, smart with your policy. If I live in a region, say a state with long winters and lots of gravel, or maybe constant highway construction,
Yeah.
I feel like that comprehensive deductible is going to become a real problem pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Is there a way to maybe preemptively tackle these high-frequency glass claims?
Absolutely. And this is where smart policy management really comes in. Some insurers offer an optional, usually small premium edition known as full glass coverage add-on. Sometimes it's called a glass waiver.
Okay, an add-on.
Yeah, it's typically a small monthly investment, maybe a few bucks, but what it guarantees is that it covers 100% of the repair or replacement cost without requiring you to pay your comprehensive deductible. So if my normal comprehensive deductible is, say, $500, but I pay maybe $5 or $10 extra a month for this add-on, every glass claim becomes essentially free and simple.
That's the idea.
That sounds like a no-brainer if you're prone to road damage or live in one of those areas.
It really is the math for high-risk drivers or just people who hate deductibles.
Yeah.
It turns the entire headache into a simple free repair process.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also worth noting, like you mentioned, regional differences. Our sources pointed out specific examples. States like Oregon, for instance, have actually mandated that certain policies must offer $0 deductible glass coverage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, showcasing how local laws can drastically alter your access to affordable repair. That's a massive benefit for drivers in those regions for sure.
Definitely something to check your state regulations on. Okay, so comprehensive and the full glass add-on are our safety nets. Now, what about the policy that leaves you completely exposed to that potentially $1,500 replacement bill?
Right, that would be liability-only coverage, and this is the crucial exclusion to understand.
If your insurance policy only includes the mandatory liability component, the part required by law, it will not pay 1 cent toward damage to your own vehicle. That includes your windshield.
So liability is just for damage I caused to others.
Exactly. It pays for the damage you cause to others, their car, their property, their medical bills. If you have liability only, that windshield repair, chip, or crack, it will be 100% out of pocket. Doesn't matter how bad it is.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, here's where it gets really interesting on the financial side. The deductible. Let's assume, okay, the listener has comprehensive coverage, but maybe not that zero deductible waiver we talked about.
Right.
The repair costs, let's say, $300. but their deductible is $500.
Hmm.
Why would they even bother calling the insurance company? Seems pointless, right?
That's a great question, and it leads to a really common misconception, actually. Generally, you're right. If the repair cost is less than your deductible, you normally wouldn't file a claim because you'd be paying the whole bill anyway.
All right.
However, here's the game changer you absolutely must know. Many insurers will waive the deductible entirely for a simple chip or crack repair.
Wait, really?
Yes, provided it's fixed quickly before it spreads and becomes a full replacement job.
Hold on. So the incentive structure is actually skewed towards prevention. If I call immediately and it's just a small chip that can be like injected with resin, the insurance company pays the whole thing and I pay nothing, even if I have a high deductible on my comprehensive policy.
Exactly that. Think about it from their perspective. The insurer would much rather pay, say, $50 or $75 for a quick resin repair today
Yeah.
than $1,000 or more for a full windshield replacement, plus maybe AS recalibration, 2 months from now when that tiny chip has inevitably turned into a massive crack running across the glass.
Okay.
This is the smart money decision for everyone involved. You just have to act fast to qualify for that deductible waiver on repairs. Don't wait.
That knowledge alone is wow. That's
Yeah.
worth a deep dive right there. But let's address the big psychological barrier, the thing that stops people from using their comprehensive coverage, even when it might be free for a chip repair. The fear.
The premium increase fear.
The fear that filing any claim, even a seemingly minor glass claim, will automatically jack up their monthly premium. Is that true?
This is a major area of policy confusion for a lot of people. What's fascinating here and really important is that filing a windshield claim under your comprehensive coverage usually won't raise your premium.
Okay, hang on. Why not? I thought all claims were bad news for rates.
Well, you're probably thinking of an at-fault accident, which would trigger collision and potentially liability claims. Those definitely can impact your rates.
Right, okay. So why is a comprehensive claim different?
Because insurance companies categorize comprehensive events like a rock hitting your car out of nowhere or hail damage or a tree branch falling on it. They see these as non-fault, essentially unavoidable events.
Okay. Acts of God again, sort of.
Kind of, yeah. They understand you had no control over it. Therefore, using your comprehensive coverage for glass damage is generally not penalized in the same way a collision claim would be. It typically doesn't negatively affect your policyholder risk profile.
That is a massive relief for drivers.
Yeah.
Seriously. If I'm not going to be penalized financially for fixing a chip, the only logical step is to get it done immediately.
Right.
Which brings us neatly to safety. Let's shift focus now from the money side to the physical well-being side, because ignoring that chip is actually much more than just an aesthetic issue, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Delayed repair presents several immediate dangers, and the seriousness has actually increased dramatically with modern vehicle design.
How so?
Well, first, there's the simple mechanical problem. The spreading risk. That small chip or tiny crack will rapidly spread. It's just physics vibration from driving, extreme temperature changes, hot sun, then cold rain, or moisture intrusion, freezing and expanding.
I can vouch for that. I once drove through a car wash with a tiny chip and bam, a massive spiderweb crack just shot across the width of the windshield in about 30 seconds. It was shocking how quickly it failed.
Exactly. And that failure, that crack spreading, leads directly to safety risk number 1, structural integrity. You absolutely must understand that your windshield is not just a piece of glass keeping the wind and bugs out.
Okay.
It provides up to 45%, almost half of your vehicle's structural strength in a frontal collision.
45%.
From the glass.
Yes. And up
Yeah.
to 60%. 60% in a rollover situation.
Yeah.
It helps keep the roof from collapsing.
You're saying the windshield is literally part of the car's crash protection system. It's not just, the glass separating me from the highway.
Precisely. It's a structural component.
Yeah.
And if that windshield is cracked, or maybe worse, improperly installed after a replacement, it cannot support the vehicle structure properly in a serious crash.
Furthermore, think about airbags. It provides the necessary solid backing surface for your passenger side airbag to deploy correctly towards the occupant. If the glass fails or pops out during deployment,
The airbag doesn't work right.
the airbag can inflate outwards or upwards, completely missing the passenger or not providing the intended protection, which is, frankly, a terrifying prospect.
Wow, that completely changes how I view my auto glass. It's not just a window.
Not at all. Then there is safety risk number 2, which is the big modern challenge, ADS.
Right, the advanced driver assistance systems.
Exactly. Things like lane departure warnings, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, all that tech. The sensors and cameras for these systems are very often mounted directly onto or just behind the windshield glass itself.
Okay, so if you replace the glass, you inevitably move or disturb those sensors.
That's the potential $1,000 problem right there. If you replace the windshield, those highly sensitive cameras and sensors require precise, specialized calibration.
Calibration, what does that involve?
It means using specific targets and computer equipment to tell the system exactly where it's pointing relative to the vehicle's center line and the road ahead. It needs to be perfect. If that calibration is even slightly off, if the camera is pointing just 1 degree too high or too low or slightly askew,
Uh-oh.
the lane-keeping system could potentially steer you incorrectly, maybe even off the road. Or the automatic emergency braking might fail to detect an obstacle or brake too late, or maybe even brake unnecessarily.
So what used to be a relatively standard glass repair job is now potentially a highly technical procedure, maybe even needing dealership-level tools or a specialist shop.
Yes, it often involves computers, specific bay requirements, precise measurements, and that complexity, that need for specialized tools and trained technicians is where a lot of the increased cost comes from, especially compared to older cars.
Okay, and that leads to another point. The glass itself. Doesn't matter what kind of replacement glass is used.
Hugely. It drives the cost, partly because you need those specific tools and certified technicians. But it also brings up the critical difference between OEM glass, original equipment manufacturer, and a cheaper aftermarket glass.
Right, OEM versus aftermarket.
Yeah.
How does that choice affect the 8A recalibration?
Well, OEM glass is guaranteed by the car maker to be the exact same thickness, curvature, clarity, and even have the same mounting points for sensors as the original windshield the 8A system was designed and tested with.
Consistency.
Exactly. Aftermarket glass might save you a few dollars up front, but its slight variances, maybe in optical clarity near the camera or thickness where a sensor mounts, can make that critical recalibration process much more difficult.
So it might not calibrate correctly.
In some cases, it might be impossible to calibrate correctly according to the manufacturer's specs, which essentially undermines the entire safety system you're relying on. So if you have ADS features, you should always push for OEM glass if your insurance policy allows for it. It's really important for safety.
That complexity and the safety risks should motivate everyone to file a claim immediately, both for safety and potentially for cost savings with that repair waiver.
Definitely.
So for the listener who is now ready to act on that chip or crack, let's walk through the simple, maybe 4-step process for filing a claim, keeping in mind the ADS complication we just discussed.
Okay. Step 1 is crucial, especially for documentation and speed. Document the damage. As soon as it's safe, take clear photos of the chip or crack, get a close-up, maybe one from further back, showing its location, and note the date it occurred.
Why the photos immediately?
It provides proof to the insurer. It shows it's a simple, maybe repairable chip right now, which could help you qualify for that deductible waiver we talked about. It also just starts the record.
Makes sense. Step 2 is making the call, right?
Yes. Contact your insurance provider, call your agent directly, or maybe use the insurer's mobile app or website. Many have a dedicated glass claim process now. Be clear that the damage is non-collision and is limited to the glass.
And ask about the deductible waiver.
Definitely ask if you qualify for the deductible waiver based on the size and type of damage shown in your photos. They'll guide you through their specific process.
Okay. Step 3, choosing where to get the work done. This sounds like it carries the biggest risk now, especially with AD, if done incorrectly.
It absolutely does. Step 3 is vital. Choose a certified auto glass shop. Don't just go with the first name the insurance company gives you or the cheapest quote.
What should you look for?
Emphasize to yourself and your insurer that you need a shop that is specifically certified in ADS recalibration for your specific make and model of vehicle. Ask them directly. Are you certified for ADS calibration on your car make model?
So you're vetting their technical skills, not just price.
Precisely. This ensures the new windshield, ideally OEM, meets safety standards, and most importantly, that those ADS sensors are properly calibrated using manufacturer-approved methods and equipment. The consequences of getting this wrong are just too high.
That's a key distinction. You are vetting the technician's technical expertise, not just their ability to, swap out a piece of glass.
Yeah, absolutely. Then finally, step 4 is pretty straightforward. Schedule service. Many professional glass shops offer mobile replacement or repair services right at your home or work, which is super convenient.
Nice.
And crucially, reputable certified shops almost always work directly with your insurance company. They'll handle the billing and all the necessary paperwork, which simplifies the process immensely for you, the policyholder. You basically just schedule the appointment.
Great. Okay, so let's bring it all together. What does this all mean for the driver who maybe heard that fresh new thwack sound this week? Summarizing the main takeaway here.
Well, the bottom line is you are likely covered, especially if you have comprehensive insurance.
Right.
And because claims for those simple repairs often carry a deductible waiver, and even replacement claims under comprehensive rarely raise your premium,
Hmm.
there's basically every financial and safety incentive to act immediately. Don't put it off.
Get it fixed fast.
Yeah. And, this raises a broader, important question that goes beyond just the policy details, I think. We often think of the windshield as just, well, glass, a passive window.
Sure.
But because of its integral role in structural integrity, in airbag safety, and now with complex ADS calibration tied to it, it's actually become more like a safety-critical electronic component, almost like the display for your vehicle's computer brain integrated with its senses.
A safety component we ignore at our peril, both financially and, more importantly, physically.
Exactly. So maybe before your next drive, ask yourself this question. Do you actually know if your current insurance policy treats your windshield merely as a simple piece of glass, or if it recognizes and covers its true value as the complex, critical safety system that it now is?
Mm.
Knowing the difference is really critical, especially when you might face decisions about repair quality, OEM versus aftermarket glass, and proper calibration down the line. That's definitely something worth looking up next time you review your policy documents.
That is an excellent point to end on. Use this quick knowledge base, check your policy details, definitely address that damage promptly, and keep your drive, and crucially, your advanced safety systems, in perfect working order.